Yo, what's up, Daniel? Welcome, man. Right on time, man. I used to give the kids that would come to class first awards to keep them from being late. So you get the award for today. I guess it's just what do you call it? Bragging rights. Best student in the class. What you up to, Daniel? What'd you do today? Oh, good, 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 man. That's what you got to do. I need other people with that bell too, so you know when I'm on here. It's woodworking time, you know. I'm gonna do a close up in the middle one in a minute once we get started here, so people can see in detail what I'm doing right now. Kind of hard to do this with the camera able to see it properly. This one's kind of flat to be able to. And as Haint would tell me, this would probably be done with a scoring like a knife. But that line is actually right on right there. Welcome to Dad's workshop, where we teach you how to build stuff so you don't have to buy IKEA stuff anymore. IKEA out, Dad's workshop in. That's 2025. Welcome. Looks like we got it. Salam. Salam. Or assalamu alaikum, whichever it is. I guess if you're Persian, it's salam. And if you're Urdu, if you're in Pakistan, or it's Urdu, it's salam. If it's Arabic, it's assalamu alaikum. But salam, salam. I'm in the Eastern U.S. time zone, New York, stuff like that. Did want to show y'all something today that I did notice on my studs that I got from kind of a special place, a building place. This little mill logo here, where the wood is actually from. In this case, it's from Austria, which I thought was kind of interesting because it's spruce, so they're probably pulling it from like the Alps. I wanted to point that out. Interesting. Right now, marks because the tenon is only going to be I'm going to have Heather do the math on this. What is 1.5 inches minus 2 times 3/8? So 6/8, which is 3/4. 1.5 inches minus 3/4 would be 3/4 of an inch. So this tenon is 3/4, and it's going to be in the center because it's going to go into an equally thin beam. And so the only support wood is going to be this wood on the outside here. It's going to have to sit exact. I'm going to have to do these exact right. Quality is a little weird. Okay. Let me see what I can do here. That may be because my internet source is kind of far away. Let me put that up here. This is one of the better spots for it. Let me know if it clears up. Hope it wasn't the quality that messed my numbers up. That was doing good. No, that's good. Yeah, I just had to move the box to a better spot. It's cold out here. Good, Daniel. I'm glad it does. All right, so we got those layout marks on here. Now we got to do that too. 3/8 on either side, 3/4 of an inch in the middle. And we're gonna pare down all of that. I'm gonna take a saw to it first, saw down to where I see the mark, and then I'm gonna chisel away like you may have seen before. But these marks, I want my layout marks all the way around so I have guidance the whole entire time. I'm not blindly kind of trying to sort of cut an angle. Precision is like the name of the game here. I'm going to sit most of the day today, guys. I'm not going to stand up this whole time. This is tricky here. I don't like the way that looks. There's a slight bit of English on the top of this stud parallel to the grain, and that's going to be tricky to deal with. I try to do it even in these little nooks and crannies too. Probably don't need it there, but just so I know. This is 3/8 that I got with the Scribe tool here. Obviously 3/8 plus 3/8 is 3/4 if we reduce it to lowest terms. And then on a 1.5 inch stud, you're left with a 3/4 inch tenon in the middle. It should be exactly in the middle if you do it that way. Agung, welcome. I like the new folks in the live. Friend of the show, Daniel. Friend of the show, Ruiz. Welcome. Since we're doing math, welcome squared. All right, so now we got layout marks on there, layout marks on there, not on here. So this side needs it. We got to come up with a poll for today, Heather. It's a non-adjacent hot topic. I mean, definitely I can always go into sports. So you could always go into, now that the Super Bowl's over, what do you plan to spend your time doing? Something like that. But that's like an open-ended question. You need a like yes, no. Yeah. I'm definitely not going to do what's your favorite color or something like that. What is a adjacent topic? I'm thinking like a weather question, like do you like snowy weather? Yes or no? Snowy weather is exciting to you, something like that. Because I always like snow. Even though I'm not in school anymore, I love to see snow. It always makes me feel good. Yeah, so like, do you like snowy weather? There's going to be, you know, it's a you love it or hate it thing. Usually people don't usually say they don't care. They usually hate the snow or they love it. This part is a bit tricky because of how you have to saw with the grain. So I'm going to try to really secure this piece, also angle it to where the camera can see it. This part I will have to stand for. This is how I did the other braces, so hopefully it will work this time as well. I've got my layout lines in place. I'll zoom in for the next one. Need my little mirror so I can see if I can saw past the cut line here. Haint, friend of the show, Haint, welcome, welcome, Haint. Y'all can probably see better than me. I can kind of see on the camera image, you know, from the live stream. But I need to check my mirror. I'm gonna get my mirror here. Wow, so it's really good now. My little trick. Check my mirror. It's tough because of that lip on there. Let me see. It's pretty close over there. And I'm not going to do, somebody asked me the other day, why don't I rip saw these things? And I'm not going to rip saw because I would miss that line so badly. I can easily cut through with a chisel and get that right if I do a cut line. Yeah. Gotta get you a snowblower. Aren't you out in like, but you're down south, so you don't have to deal with it that much, except for this year. Love the likes, appreciate the likes. Make sure that you subscribe, join the Discord, take the survey. Send us your credit card number. No, I'm just kidding. Get into the funnel though. Social security number also. I don't know if I can joke like that. I don't know how I didn't do layout lines on this side. I don't like that. How did I not do layout lines on this side? My mirror has exactly 45s on the sides of it. I actually prefer it to my protractor because I use so many 45-degree angles. it's more of an even cut, almost all the way through. Looks like I'm a little shy there. A little shy on that. All right, so I'm 3/8 in there, 3/8 in on the other side. I gotta flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Oh, that's right, you're up in Vermont. Sorry. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, me too. You know, snow, always better when you have the holiday ambiance behind it. You know, I agree with that. But I still enjoy it, and it clears the air. Like, it makes the air clean. After I do this cut, I'm going to actually do close-ups for a lot of the rest of the way, because that's better content for people who watch later, I think. So we will make these cuts. This one does not look very accurate. At least the layout line is not. Could have been that I hit it wrong with the bandsaw, because my bandsaw is really dull right now. Waiting on three assorted blades for that. This explains why one side of my tenons are all cut a little bit shyer than my other ones, because this lip right here keeps me from being able to see the cut line in the mirror. So whenever I was cutting them before, I was cutting the side with the lip a little short so I didn't overcut, but then I didn't chisel them as much. So you learn these things in time. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. Smash that like button and gently tap that subscribe button. Very gingerly. Be gingerly with that subscribe button. They didn't like that I said smash the like button and gently coax the subscribe button. That's a better line right there. Now, last time I think I made one more cut down the middle. I'm not going to do that this time because I don't think that's necessary. And wielding this saw is annoying. So we got one cut and one cut. I'm going to go ahead and do this to the other one too. And those are pretty close. This one missed the line a little bit, but we can correct that. As long as it's shy of the line, the tenon comes out bigger. Thing about doing woodworking yourself is you're going to get a lot of practice on every bit of it. If anybody was on my Discord and they watched that video of the Icelandic ship that was being built, a lot of it using joinery. Oh yeah, you got to click that bell icon too, and just ding that, because we all don't like a huge bell ding. So just smash the like button, gently click that subscribe button, and then click that little bell ding for notifications. That's what we need you to do. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel, who is fully invested in the show. Friend of the show, Daniel. I really don't like how inaccurate this is on finding that line. Say that's good. Say that's good right there. Move on. Been a long time since I was doing the chests and stuff, but I would do like 4 hour. I think I did like a 4 hour live one time for the chest. This one still needs marks around. It's my ADHD, see I still miss stuff. Needs marks up here up top. We're on the last 2 cuts on the end with the saw. I think Heather got the chests from an auction or something, and they've been sitting out in the carport for quite some time. So I decided to bring them in and take care of them. I only have one that still needs to be restored. I went through the other ones and got all the schmutz out of those ones. Do this for a second, then I'll move the thing back. These are almost like stop cuts, just so I don't chisel into the end. Or the 45-degree angle part, which is, just as important for stability as the tenons are. All right, to sum up, we made stop cuts on both sides of our braces. Now we are going to chisel away the waste down to that 3/4 inch tenon there, and then we'll lay out tomorrow we'll lay out the brace housing on the beam on the post, which I have to remove from the bed. The bed is set up right now, so I have to put supports on it and then remove the two rear posts where the housing for these braces will be cut. And I appreciate you watching the shorts too, Daniel. Yeah, appreciate that. All right, next thing to do is I guess zoom in the camera a bit so you all can see a little better. Without banging my head on this bed on the way through. You know that flush cut saw? That may be better than the Ryoba saw, but I wouldn't trust it. I would try it. You know, nothing wrong with trying it. Harbor Freight, if you're out there, I'm willing to, work with you. But you gotta get some better stuff. Trust me, I make this saw do a lot more work than it may be meant for. All these techniques can be used for building your own house too, in the old-fashioned style. So once you learn this, man, stick framing and framing with 2x4s is easy. Yes, you can't beat $7 with a stick, right? As long as you don't mess up your work with it, you know. I'm gonna use a longer chisel for this, I think. I mean, a wider chisel face. Y'all check me out on Facebook, Calvin Seaton. Also, Heather, drop a Facebook post that I'm on live so that New Beginnings gets that notification because he probably doesn't have his bell clicked like a good student. Gotta have my regulars. It's a little low, actually. We do not want this tenon to be too small. Absolutely not. That was my stomach growling, considering the microphone over I got this little sound thing over there. But do that like this. So now I made some stop cuts around there. I should turn it and do the whole way around. You know, due diligence. That's like the name of the game with this stuff. Oh, thanks, babe. Appreciate that. Around the top here. Give me a mallet. Give it a tap. That was maybe too much of a tap. I don't want to take more than I want to take. I don't know if y'all saw that, but it pulled away. All right, looks like it's going to be okay. It was on the inside, so y'all didn't see. As soon as I tapped it from the end grain, it went right down. That's why you make the stop cut. It's a pretty good pull. Good pull response. I'm going to do the same thing, I did with the sawing, which is go and make these stop cuts all the way around on every side before I start chiseling. Hopefully I got this into the camera shot here. Move it a little bit. Honestly, I don't think that there's this kind of live content on YouTube. So if you like woodwork and you like the intricacies of it and you're trying to learn, stuff that's kind of trade secrety and people don't want to really show you how they did it, they just want to show you the finished product so that you'll subscribe, then definitely click that like button, click that subscribe button, click that bell, as Daniel said, and let's get this thing going, because I'm here to show you. I'm not getting paid $1 from YouTube. YouTube has not put a penny in my bank account. So what I'm doing this for right now is purely for the love of it, which is the actual meaning of the word amateur, if you don't know. It means someone who does something for the love of it. I'm getting better at this. Those lines are very accurate. All right. Not perfect. Didn't say I'm getting perfect at this. Just saying I'm getting better. No. Hey, Daniel. Glad you're sharing. Harbor Freight has a flush cut saw for $7. They don't pay me anything. I'm just saying Daniel provided us with that information. Flush cut saw, really good for if you're putting dowels and things. Really important for, if you're trying to cut pieces off the end. I sometimes have used a razor saw for it because I didn't have a flush cut saw handy. But always a good tool to have. So, yeah, I appreciate you, Daniel. I'm not going to chastise you for saying names. You're the consumer, I got those. Looks like I got those too. I got to do these here. We're all about balling on a budget here too. So, we don't go and talk about expensive things for the sake of talking about expensive tools. We talk about expensive tools when they are worth the money, and when they're not, we use cheaper stuff. If expensive lumber is worth the money, then it's worth getting, right? For some of us, it's not a good idea to get expensive lumber because we don't have the skills necessary to put that expensive lumber together in such a way that won't waste it. So right now, learning how to do it on pine and spruce is really the best way. It's very forgiving. learning how to do it on cherry and oak and walnut, well, you'll do it like I did and ruin thousands of dollars worth of wood if that's what you start on. So, not recommended. You know, what I recommend is getting the cheap stuff, Harbor Freight, etc., and then go from there and up if you're really into it. Switch. Appreciate everyone who's here. Make sure that if you like free content and you like to learn the intricacies of how you put things together using wood and only wood, please click that like button and that subscribe button. And let's get this community oriented the right way. Get my demo the right people. If you're not into that, of course I understand. Appreciate you stopping by. Stay as long as you want. But if you are, absolutely click that. That's the way YouTube gets you the content that you want, because YouTube is around the user, not the creator. YouTube is designed to give the user the content that they want. A lot of creators don't understand that. If you listen to the YouTube people talk, they'll be like, we're not worried about, they talk to creators, but their main concern is their client, which is the viewer, the consumer. Reason you don't see me tapping this right now is because wood loves to break down the grain. So I hit that other board with this chisel with the mallet, and it started breaking down the grain. So you got to be careful. I already got it cut there, I guess. Y'all probably saw me do that. All right, let me flip it up, do the upside, flip it over to the other side, and then I'll start paring away this stuff. This edge is probably going to eventually go. I'm going to leave it there for sizing and fitting first, though. I got a knot right here. Welcome to Dad's workshop. Right now we're building a bunk bed using traditional joinery. We're making what some may call in timber framing knee braces, but just corner braces is what they are. You see the whole process here on Dad's workshop. We don't cut anything out. We don't edit my live streams. They're on. There's a gajillion of them on if you want to watch some of the other stuff I've done. Antique chests, some of the stuff we mentioned earlier. Yeah. Gotta be ever so careful with that. It's like Patrick Mahomes, some days good, some days bad. I'm having a better day. I'm having like a Jalen Hurts day right now. Not a Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce day. You're probably still arguing about what to eat for dinner tonight. Kelce says he lost his appetite. I could write up a whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift script right now. Got to be creative while you're doing this stuff. Keep yourself entertained. Oh yeah. Yes, that's an excellent question. Excellent question, Hank. Yes, the rip side of the saw can be used to saw through the end grain. And that is a great idea if you've got maybe a small cut to make and you have a great vise on your bench that can hold your wood straight up. I used to have a bench vise, not a good one, but good enough to hold wood upward. And so you can saw into the end grain. Right now, I don't have a good bench vise, and I'm not confident with this pull saw. It has terribly dull teeth. So I'm doing most of my paring away with a chisel. So I'm using the sharp tools I have. Yep, good question. Nah, more like a real script between, you know what the real script between Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce is? Absolutely nothing, because it's all made up. That's the real script. They're not even like having phone calls. This is all just, it's all just a show, I think. We'll find out eventually. It's all a lie. It's the Illuminati lying to us. Illuminati. Illuminati. If I say that, will I get more viewers on here? I do everything for clicks and views. Here we go. What did I do with that? I want to be really careful when I do this. I have a small chisel. There we go. Let's do that for now. I'm going to go side grain like this right now. It's like butter. See that? Looks like balsa wood, I bet to y'all. All the experienced woodworkers, just, they can say what they want. They don't say anything though. They're like, let him do what he does. Being ever so careful not to get below that cut line. And I got kind of a mess here, but just clean it up with the back of the chisel if you need to get it level to get your bearings. Your chisel can be like a level. If the bevel is like placed in the right spot, you can see how it almost is working like a level right there. And what remains is really flat. None of the grain is lifted at all. And I'm really close to that cut line right now. So I gotta be careful here. See, I wouldn't have taken it with a saw. You see, it would have been easier for me to do it, and it is easier for me to do it this way. Whereas it may be for some people, it may be easier to rip saw it. I was afraid of accuracy issues with that. These got to be really accurate. Yeah. No, I mean, it's just like obvious that they're not actually together. I mean, really, seriously, does the vibe come off like they're together? I don't think so. Maybe that should be the poll. Do you really think they're together? Or do you just not care? I was about to use different language, but do you not care? I don't give a care, right? If I was already on Spotify and stuff, I would use very choice language for it, but I'm not, so just use your imagination. Plus, this isn't a Spotify-friendly type broadcast, you know. In general, Spotify people can't like listen to someone chopping wood. I guess you could, you know. Sometimes I start watching my own lives and get mesmerized by, and I don't know, is that narcissistic? I'm just mesmerized by the sounds of the wood. Probably why I do it in the first place. That's kind of made a nasty cut there. I might be able to fix it here. This is when you get the little chisels out to get these corners, like the really small chisels. Or the mortise chisel, which has a flat side on it, kind of meant for this. I'll show you one of those. I'm gonna flip this and go from the other direction though. Here's a mortise chisel. Kind of afraid to use this because I haven't looked at sharpening it in a while. It's not super sharp. But it helps in these situations because it has that flat side, so you know you're getting a flat reference point if you've cut a flat reference point. That's pretty much down to the line, and it's not over here, so I'm going to have to flip it to get that side proper. But I'll do the other side first. Are they really a couple, I guess, is the question. Are we being lied to? Is it just all a manipulation? So y'all can see how that shoulder is. The shoulder will have to be worked there a bit. That's pretty close, though. Pretty close to what you want. Hope these work, but if they don't, I'll cut more braces, you know? Remember, we built this whole bed without plans. I sounded Canadian when I said without plans. It's about time. See how that didn't break away from here, only broke away from here? That's the key. The knot there, and that's why it's not cleanly breaking away, or imperfection in the wood. Trying to get this kind of roughly level so I can kind of just sweep the chisel over it. Besides a few imperfections, this is actually a really nice, otherwise a very nice piece of wood to work with. Grain is nice and even. The chisel wants to go through it nice and evenly. It's those little things that you notice when you've done this a couple times. And of course, this side wants to drag behind it. because of the angle of my chisel. Real close to that line on this side here. Trying to avoid going through the line, just stay real shy of the line, and I can make the adjustments later. Make sure you click that like button. I got a lot of folks in here. Appreciate y'all all being here. It can be anywhere in the world. It is construction lumber. Yep. It is conventional, regular lumber, but I know my wood, so I pick it out very carefully. I go to a lumber yard where I have some choice over the species of wood, you know, and I pick which species I use and the boards. I'm very meticulous about selecting my lumber. So it's not like your average, nothing wrong with average guys framers that go to the place and pick a straight board and leave. I'm picking the wood for figure too, so I like to look at the wood and see what the personality is, then check if it's straight, and check if it has like the characteristics I want. In this case, I want as few imperfections and knots as possible, but a few knots give it personality. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, this channel it's a great question, Daniel. This channel is all about using cheap materials to make really high quality projects. Like, you can make good things out of conventional lumber. A lot of like expensive furniture is made with cheaper materials than conventional lumber, like particle board. Like a lot of the most expensive furniture that's out there, you know, bunk beds, if you're buying a couple $1,000 bunk beds, the components are made out of particle board and stuff like that. That's not even real wood. So in a way, conventional lumber is a high-end material. Even this bunk bed build and the conventional lumber that I had to buy for this bunk bed build, well, I would say I didn't really calculate. I've got the receipts, but I haven't calculated it. I would estimate it's in the neighborhood of, you know, $400 or $500 worth of wood and other materials necessary. Sandpaper, you know, I had to get a Forstner bit. So things like that. That's a really nice one right there, actually. I'm real close to that line. The bottom had a little imperfection there. Kind of threw me a little bit. Now, if you have a shoulder plane, this is the time to utilize that. And I love the word utilize, a word that sounds like use, and it's longer than use, and you don't need to utilize it. You know? Just say use. Yeah, if you got a shoulder plane, use your shoulder plane here. If you have a mortise chisel, probably a good time to check and see if that can grab some of the excess material on one side. Seems to be a little lump right here. Good stuff. Appreciate everyone being here. Welcome to Dad's Workshop, where we do the work and you don't have to right now. You can do it when you're ready. I'm going to show you the real way to do things. I've made all my stop cuts. Oh, let me show you that tenon too, since I've got you in close up. Here we got the rough tenon. Looks like I missed the line there. That's okay as long as I'm above the line, right, and not under the line. Over here, maybe I came under the line a little bit. Well, let's see. Should be, and it's close. It's a little thin right here. But yeah, we come back and we fix that. And then next time I'll be careful that I don't go over my cut line. But it's fairly close as long as these lines are evened up. This is enough stability wood here to hold a pretty strong joint. So this is going to be our corner brace. Appreciate everyone being here. Click that like button. Smash that like button. Make sure I got stop cuts here. Yeah, I do. Let me try it from this angle, see if you all can get a better view that way. See, that's another way of going after it. I can see there's like a knot or a resin pocket here I need to be careful of. There's a knot on the end. That's going to be a little bit unwieldy. Doesn't want to pry off either. All right, I'm going to flip this up because I don't want to blow out the wood there. That's a little knot right here, and I'm a little bit scared that it's going to want to take wood from inside this after the 45-degree angle is cut. So let me see if I can kind of ease it out of there. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. As I was speaking of imperfections, I mean, there's plenty of them on here. That takes you almost down to the cut line there, so that's slightly dangerous for your joint, and it's also going to be more difficult to work around it. Let me get this tight because this is not secure right now. Yeah, all the wood, I've said this before on the live, but all the wood around a knot is also gnarly. So it makes the grain around it difficult to work with also. So I may actually approach this by breaking away wood here and then get past that. The grain direction, and you can see that piece came out, just popped out, and I didn't chisel under it. Grain direction is just completely cockamamie when you have a knot. So all the way around it, you can kind of see it on the top, and that's what makes the wood kind of have personality. I'm not against knots. It's just they're bad when you're trying to cut joinery, you know, because they're not consistent with how they support. I can't hit that from this side here, from the shoulder side, because I'm afraid I'll go below that cut line. Actually, shouldn't have come from that angle there. Is that right? Is utilize the optimal word to utilize? Or is it just the best word to use? Should have thought about that when I wrote all those papers for those people. Getting a chuckle from somebody. Inside jokes. Vince, welcome, Vince Corker. Welcome, Vince Corker to the show. Vince, make sure you subscribe. Click that like button for me, bud. Welcome. Shout out Vince. Shout out to all my regulars. Hank, Ruiz, Daniel, all my regulars that are in the house. And, you know, everybody who is regular, say hi in the chat so everybody knows this is a community. Not a fly-by-night operation. We're here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 5:30, barring unforeseen circumstance. Welcome to Dad's Workshop, everybody. We're working on a corner brace for bunk beds right now. Hopefully you can hear me say that. I got the microphone down by the workpiece right now. So. This is the way you have to shave at these imperfections, like the knots. They're very stubborn, and the grain around them is similar. They're mostly just resin, so you're basically cutting into pine resin. It doesn't have a direction because it was a fluid that hardened. Welcome to Dad's Workshop, everybody. Good night. Not good night like I'm leaving, like it's a great night. Great night for Dad's Workshop. Oh, we got that corner pretty close. Ooh, that's really nice. I feel like I guess I'm like the Bob Ross of woodwork. That's very nice. I do make it look easy too. Sometimes. Other times it takes hours and hours, and so people are like, wow, that's really hard. It takes a long time. Anything worth doing. Anything worth doing, that's all I'm going to say. Well, I'm going to say more, but about that, that's all I'm going to say. We got a little raised spot right here. Welcome if you're from my Facebook too. Chris, I know Chris is in here sometimes. Welcome, Chris. If you're out there, you can definitely put a shout out. Anybody I know, drop your name in there so I can give you a shout out. This joint is looking really good right now. I got one little raised spot here over this kind of resin pocket here. And of course this side is always slightly raised because it's the side I'm coming from, working from. Sorry if I hit the mic there. It's wood butchery right here. When I'm choosing steaks at the grocery store, it's the same thing as when I'm choosing wood from the lot. Same process. Marbling, you know, looking for that nice marbling. I know there's a couple of you out there that know a good steak when you see it, considering my demo is like 68.5% male. Ladies, appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, lady viewers. That's looking real nice. Probably flip that and do the other side, then I'll get this side down here. This side's gonna have to come down, but I just can't do it very well from this angle, so I'll have to flip this one. Steak, man, steak. What am I talking about? This edge here tells me this tenon is gonna probably have to be trimmed. I did this with the band saw. Oh no, that was with the circular saw. So yeah, I left a little bit of edge there because it's better to leave more wood than less wood, you know. Probably similar to working with fabric or something. And I think I did my stop cuts all the way around here. Yeah, I feel them in there. That's important. Especially because there's a knot running through it in the middle there. And that knot is going to present a strategic problem when we're cutting through this thing. I might flip this onto its top on back and see whether I can go after maybe that spot first. I need my glasses on for some of this. You heard it here first, folks. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's relationship is not real. No, you probably didn't hear it here first. You probably heard that a million times. It's Illuminati. Lies from the Illuminati. Trying to make us think this happy couple exists. Liars. Lies and the lying liars that tell them. Welcome to my 89 viewers, 13 likes. Like, it's a good night. Click that like button. Click that subscribe button. Doing real craft content here. That's what we do. So if you like that and you want to learn more, want to learn with me because you're better than me, or you want to teach me something, that's a good reason to subscribe too. Hate watch, love watch, just watch. A little nervous about this, I'm going to be honest. That knot makes me very nervous. Needs to clamp down harder. See how much resin is in there? It broke straight through my cut line. I think the problem is I like wood that has this stuff, even though it's a pain to work with. I like the smell and usually like the grain of woods that have resin content like this. That's all resin, straight up pine resin right there. There's hardly any wood involved in that. And that's not even the knot. So the knot was back here, a bit higher. I'm gonna use the back side of the chisel to free it away from the shoulder. You can see how that works there. Little tips, man. You know, I'm not a professional, but I listen to a couple of them and pick their brains. Keep forgetting it's actually not very much wood I'm removing here, and this chisel is so sharp it's taking it off very easily. That knot right there has caused a bit of a problem. That's all the result of having to deal with that knot. Nah, but Daniel says the knot wasn't very deep. No, it wasn't, but it affected all of the wood around it. So, and there's one like near it on the other side. So we have two imperfections within a close proximity of each other, near the same tenon. But the tenon still looks strong. If it didn't, I would be like, nah, we got to use a different piece of wood. But the tenon still looks like it's maintained some. It's got its structural integrity. It's enough good wood on there. I'm just turning it to the other side because it's difficult to. Actually, I don't think I did turn it to the other side. I flipped it and put it on the same side. Think of an angle I can get you all can see. On my side. Let's see if y'all can see that. No. I don't love this angle either, but this edge has to get pared down a bit. Welcome to everyone. I'm kind of looking at the camera angle to see if I'm getting this right. And this is on my side, like I said, so yeah, this still has to be pared down a bit. You can actually almost see the pencil line in my chisel now. Now, paint will probably tell me I should lay this out with a knife, and I would say that's probably true. I don't know. I got my pencil real sharp. That's my defense. Can always take off more, can't put wood back. It's looking pretty close. You all keep me honest. That's how I do this. I probably wouldn't do it. If I was by myself, I don't know if I would go to this intricacy. But doing the live, I got to teach y'all. I got to show you the right way. Not teach you. Some of y'all already know how to do this, so I'm not trying to be arrogant. But trying to show the proper way of doing this, as Hank says. Take it real slow here because we're real close to that line. I think that's pretty good. I think it's better than my line, actually. Straighter than my line. What he said, use a can opener. Hank says pencils are good, whatever works. Heck, use an antique can opener. I said antique, he said old, but yeah, join the Discord. Join the Discord so you could see what he's talking about. We thought we found an old, crafty Scribe tool. It turns out it's half of a can opener. So, man, this is what we got. I mean, it's not looking bad. The tenon seems to be fluted a little bit, so I got to go and pare some of that away. You don't want to do too much of that though until you kind of cut your mortise and see. But that's actually going to be a nice strong tenon. I was worried that 3/4 of an inch was not enough tenon to support the weight that it's going to have to, racking stresses is going to have to support. But I am not worried right now. I think this is plenty of tenon. It's almost like a 1x3's width here, 3/4, and that's what a 1x3 is. It's weird. A lot of the cutting I've done has been cutting down to standard dimensions. So here we go. We're on our next one. I got you on the camera. I'm not going to worry about that edge too much until I start fitting it. That's not as much of a concern to me. Well, it should be, I guess, but it's not. And I've done all of the cutting. I got to double check and make sure I did a stop cut here along the way. Yeah, I did. I can feel it. And that's the most important thing. Let's, I could probably examine it for, I've got this one resin pocket here that's running through it. You all can see it looks like a little streak going through it. That is going to be different than the wood around it. So I need to make sure I keep that in mind as I'm chiseling or paring away the waste. Also, the tenon looks like it's not cut here exactly right, so this will eventually have to come off anyway here. Probably wait till I got a new band saw blade and start messing with that. I'm not going to take my saw has too much kerf for that edge. Down here, it's got to be paired a little bit up here too. All right, that's in mind. We're going to take this out though. As I suspected, that resin pocket is not behaving the same as the wood around it. But it's a little better than the last one. Yeah, I do want to cut. I forget what they call these little woodworking tools you use to. It's like a scribe tool, and you set the mark. I know my great grandfather has one sitting at my folks' house. I'm gonna have to grab it and fix it up. He basically makes layout marks on pieces of wood. May just be called a scribe, but it's usually a small piece of. I had one actually. It's reminded me. That's how I cut my dovetails before. I don't know what happened to that thing. It was actually kind of a nice looking one. Cherry. But you can do it without if you need to. That's what I've done on this. So. Dad's workshop is here every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think we'll probably be doing Thursdays sometime soon, but right now, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 5:30. Subscribe and click that bell so that you know when I'm on if you're trying to do this kind of stuff. Yeah, I think it helps to have somebody working on a similar project or woodworking. If you have woodworking questions, comments, definitely join my Discord so that you can voice those. It's a platform on which we talk about projects. We just started, so we don't have huge numbers on there. So feel free to join that. Definitely click that like button and subscribe button. Appreciate everyone being here tonight. It's night for me. Since this is cutting so nicely, I might actually get a larger chisel here. I don't think I need as sharp a force, and just make some passes with a larger, do a couple with the mortise chisel here. See, there's a raised, it's always the side that you're on is always raised. Actually, I need to sharpen that mortise chisel thing. It's not too bad, but it's not like my other tools. Yeah, significant difference in height on this side and that side. That's that resin pocket. It's not looking bad at all. We're pretty even along. So let me see if I get a larger chisel here and make some passes with that. Kind of acts like a shoulder plane if you have one. Yeah, as I suspect, it's mostly coming from that slicing now. It's too big, but it's almost at a spot where I would say it's evenly too big, and that's a good place to keep it until you size it. I'm almost at that line there. It's pretty good. Welcome to Dad's workshop. You notice we're uninterrupted because we're not monetized yet. We're trying to get there, but right now all this content is just free, educational, enriching content. So click that subscribe button. It's a free way that you can support the channel. Also click the like button and drop a comment. We'll give you a shout out. We're really nice, I promise. Definitely my carpal tunnel is acting up right now. That's a sharp chisel. Alright, now let's stop playing with it. Give it a couple chops. Clamp is not good. Rule number one is secure your workpiece. So hopefully you all can still see that. Hey, my son's in the house. Shout out D. Shout out to Big D. And the comment is, I should use mine talking about, what were we talking about? Remind me what we were talking about, Hank? You said you should use mine more often. It's an old wooden piece that has a sharp bit in. Oh, yeah. We're talking about Scribe tools. Yeah, definitely. I have, that's the same. Mine has a little blade in the top of it. You know, it's like a pretty standard looking one, European style one, with the little, kind of looks like a mallet almost. Has like a mallet head on it, but that head is adjustable with screws. I used to have another one too, come to think of it. I had a couple of these and they disappeared. I'm sure my son's not the one that's on here because he didn't take my tools and run away with them. But one of my other sons probably picked it up at some point. It got left in the yard maybe. can see already this tenon is going to have to be trimmed. It's a little too long. Another thing I'll do once I get that bandsaw blade, because I'm not going to go after that a small area like that with the kerf I have on the saw I have. Kerf will account for that area and take off part of the tenon. And like I said earlier, I can't lose any of these tenons. These tenons have to be cut just so. We were talking about wood earlier, expensive wood versus cheap wood, and how this is conventional lumber. One thing I would like to indicate is that I would be happy to build a piece like this out of a cherry or a walnut if I was commissioned to do so. Somebody wanted the piece done and would pay for that material. And also, once I built one out of softwood and I know the dimensions, like I didn't have plans for this. I just went with basic dimensions and then laid joints out to make the structure secure, and using my experience from making a handful of other beds. I didn't, now that I've made one almost, you know, knock on wood, that I've almost finished one successfully, knock on wood again, I can draw plans out and do this with a more expensive wood, if that makes sense to the audience. Yeah, it's like a little mallet, and it has either two little circular blades in it or a little needle in it. And you set the distance there with a couple little calipers type things. It's like a caliper, but it's not. A caliper measures width and stuff like that. This doesn't really, it's not the same type of thing. Again, the tenon end that's closest to me is fluted out because it's easier to chisel down here than over here. So that has to be dealt with. Great night on Dad's Workshop. Appreciate everyone being here. Make sure you click that like button and subscribe. Join the Discord. I think all those links are available. I'm Calvin Seaton. You can check me out on any social media. Go by my real name. So, you know, if you look like a weirdo, probably won't accept your friend request. But other than that, you know, I'm very friendly. So check me out and say hello. Also, that's a way I reach out and put content out. So all of them, my link should be in there. Yep, those scribe tools kind of look like mallets a bit. That's about as far as I'm going to go on that side. See, that's pretty good. You can see even it's pretty square, maybe a little fluting up towards the top here. But general well cut, especially by hand. So that's not machine cut at all. Now we got one more side to do here. It's like I don't see any visible knots. This should be fairly easy wood as long as I don't get impatient with it. I've got stop cuts, so it should be pretty good to like take out. I'm gonna take out in chunks. Try to give you all a different angle. You see that knot right there is affecting the wood right here is what I was talking about earlier. Grain direction of this is off. Interesting, because I thought I would be free of troubles from that. I don't like that. That cut into my tendon a bit there. Kind of unexpected too, because the grain looked really good, but there is like a knot that affects the end of that. It's all right. I'm gonna leave that side at that, because I feel like the more I carve into that, the worse that's gonna get. Dog and turtle pictures for invites. Let's bomb them. Let's spam them with the dog and turtle pictures. Whatever gets them on there. I'm tempted to flip this one up because I don't want to make a mistake here. Approaching this side a little bit different here. There you go. Now I know I'm not going past the cut line. one needs to be trimmed just a bit down to that line there. We got this one that needs to be looked at a little bit, whatever happened with that edge. We got this one here. We have two braces cut. I'm going to probably sand these, but I need to take a quick water break. I'm going to sand and maybe file some stuff. Just try to make them smoother so when they sit in, they sit a little nicer. Quick water break, so bear with me. Appreciate everyone being here. Dad's Workshop. Click that like button, click that subscribe button. Join the Discord. Bear with me. Water break. It's perfectly level, but I gotta take it down just a smidge, I think. Definitely right here. I'm gonna stop there because of that resin pocket that I just hit. I don't want to do that again. Yeah, I use sandpaper on. I mean, this is a disc from a machine, but yeah, I use sandpaper to make sure that the joints don't have little, like little pieces of wood will splinter off and then blow out on your board. So if you sand it a little or bevel the edges, it's a trick so that when it goes into the joint, it doesn't, like wood doesn't break off. It's a problem, especially with these kind of kiln dried woods like this. And also it's easier to handle. You don't get splinters as easily. Good question. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Maybe not tonight, but in the next week. So subscribe, and if you're into this kind of content, and I won't talk a whole lot because I know some of you all are in here for the relaxation component. But make sure you click that like button, and they'll send you this content so that you'll be able to chill with it whenever you want. If you're trying to learn something, or you just like the noise puts you to sleep, whatever it is. I don't take that personally. These are like the key components to timber frame building. This is what makes you not have to put a stud every, 16 inches on center, like what you have to do with framing when you stick frame. These braces, not this size is not big enough, but the same geometric shape and the same cut is used to create braces that will support vast stretches of building, because triangles are the strongest shape. They form triangles, and it creates a resistance to the racking forces going both directions. Oh, Daniel, I hope I didn't miss you. Take care, Daniel. Shout out to Daniel, friend of the show. And I gotta go too pretty soon, so let me hang up my tools, say goodbye. I want to say thanks to everybody for coming. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button. We work really hard to make sure that we are building a community here. Sorry about the shakiness. I had to move the camera for a moment. Make sure that you click the like, subscribe button, join our Discord, drop a comment, check me out on social media, Calvin Seaton. Channel is Dad's Workshop. I appreciate each and every one of you all. Love you very much. Hope to see you back tomorrow night, 5:30. Take care.